Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3.
let's go ahead and I would like to call to order the Board of Directors meeting of the Waste Reduction District of Monroe County, Thursday, September 12th, 2024. We will, let's see, in terms of roll call, we have Mayor Carrie Thompson. We have Councilmember Isabel Piedmont Smith. We have Commissioner Penny Giddens and Jeff McKim here in the Nat U Hill room. And we do not have anybody on Teams. Is that correct?
Not that I can see.
Okay. We do expect at least one or two other board members to show up, but we do have a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a couple of meeting minutes that aren't even voting items, so I'll just kind of read each one, see if anybody each item, and see if anybody has any comments they want to make. I will say that we are going to pull item number 10, controller position, from this meeting. All right, executive committee meeting minutes, July 29th, 2024. Any comments that haven't already been made? Okay, executive committee executive session minutes, August 16th, 2024. Any comments that haven't already been made? All right, executive committee executive session minutes, August 26th, 2024, 1 p.m. Executive committee executive session minutes, August 26th, 2024, 2 p.m. Executive committee executive session minutes, August 30th, 2024. All right, then we do have a couple of minutes that are voting items. We have an approval. We're asked to approve the Board of Directors and Citizens Advisory Committee joint meeting minutes from July 18th, 2024.
I move approval of the Board of Directors and Citizens Advisory Committee joint meeting minutes from July 18th, 2024.
We have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? All right, and we can do voice votes because we're not under hybrid rules at this point. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, approval of Board of Directors meeting minutes, August 8th, 2024.
Excuse me, did everybody vote on those? Mayor Thompson may have not voted and then we don't have 4 votes.
I did vote.
Okay,
I was not there. I hope that's okay.
You don't have.
I reviewed the minutes. I
It
was
is in
not
order
there.
to.
I did vote.
okay. Thank you. I just didn't hear.
So we also have approval Board of Directors meeting minutes, August 8th, 2024.
Move approval of the Board of Directors meeting minutes from August 8th, 2024.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments? All right, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, controller's report. We'll move on to the cash flows. Kathy. We don't hear
Okay.
you if
I know it.
if you think you're
Trying to
talking.
get unmuted. Can you hear me now?
I'll get it in a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The cash flow summary is on page 36 of your board packet. And the balances reflected there include the operating balance as of August 31st, which was $4,345,761.76. The August 31st balance for the closure bond debt was $30,383.51. The capital account August 31st balance was $45,857.94. And the August 31st balance for the landfill post-closure account was $783,458.92. The individual cash flow statements for each of those are on pages 37 to 42 of your packet, and the operating fund graph is on page 39. Questions on the account balances?
Yes.
Yes, I have a question about the expense detail sheet. It shows that for the wellness clinic, Activate Clinic, we have only 4% remaining in our budget for that. Is there a plan to cover that budget line since we have, a few more months of the year remaining? And I wanted to ask if it was budgeted higher for next year.
This year is paid for. We pay quarterly at the beginning of each quarter for that forthcoming quarter. So the next payment won't be due till the beginning of January for that
Oh, okay.
quarter. So it is.
Alright.
Yes, we did, I believe, budgeted for a 5% increase for next year.
Okay, I didn't think that the fourth quarter would already be paid for, but that's good. Then we're
Yeah.
within budget.
We pay quarterly at the beginning of the quarter that we're paying for.
It's in
Okay,
advance.
thank you.
I'd like to note that Commissioner Thomas has now joined us virtually.
Oh,
I've got her
okay,
here on the
great.
screen.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so Commissioner Thomas is virtual, so we'll be under hybrid rules. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Okay, all right. So that was anything else about cash flow? All right, we'll move on to payroll and claims.
On page 43 of the packet, you have a total for payroll and claims for approval since our last meeting, and that's in the amount of $203,654.78, with the backup for those numbers on pages 44 to 65. We had one claim for approval this week, and that was sent out in an email on Wednesday in the amount of $1,257.95. And the documentation for that claim was included in the Wednesday email. That brings the total of all payroll and claims that we're recommending for approval to $204,912.73. Questions on those claims?
Just, any questions in the Nat U Hill room?
No.
How about on Teams?
No questions.
I had a question.
Please. Yep.
Sorry. We paid for some consulting work by Ashley Craner for a records retention project. Could I hear a little more about that, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have, unfortunately, record purging is not something we have kept up on. So we have, we have, I guess, district produced records going back to 2009 or 2010 still in our possession. We have landfill waste district related records that the county sent over some time ago, going back to the late 80s in our possession. So we brought Ms. Craner in, given her experience with the county's Records Retention Commission, to help us catalog and inventory, match those up with the state retention schedules, and get us set up with a schedule to destroy, digitize, or establish as a permanent record all of those documents.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions about payroll and claims? All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move approval of payroll and claims for September 2024.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other comments? We'll go to public comment. Are there any members of the public, either here in the Nat U Hill room or on Teams, who would like to make comment on payroll and claims? If so, please, there's nobody here in the room, but please raise your hand on Teams. Okay, seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes.
Githens,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McKim,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, so we pulled item number 10. So now let's move on to the number 11, Resolution 2024-09 for additional appropriation.
We're, I guess, covering two different appropriation requests here. The first one, I think the board, maybe at the end of last year, was advised of. The bank that manages our debt bond, Bank of New York Mellon, did notify us in October of last year that the annual maintenance fee on that bond management would be increasing by $350. We did an additional appropriation to cover that last year as well. And given that our budget was already for 2024 was already completed at that time, we knew we were going to have to do this appropriation again this year for that additional $350. So moving forward for 2025, we have the $750 current the amount that it currently is budgeted for 2025. And then the second part of this is deals with our education and training room at our office that that we use for staff safety trainings and and also some continuing education opportunities. The Purdue Extension Services also uses that room a lot with a lot of their groups and associations through the 4-H programs and Purdue itself. And the chairs, the tables and chairs that are in that room, the chairs, I believe, are original to when the building was built. And so they're pushing 30 years old. And they are, you know, they work, but they're not ideal. We're missing feet. We have stained upholstery, and they've served their time, we think, and it's time to replace those. Some of the tables have been replaced over the years. They're of varying ages and conditions, but they're also your standard 6 and 8 foot foldable conference tables. So when we need to rearrange the room, it's not convenient. It's not easy to get the room repositioned. So you can see on page 68 of your packet, you know, I've given some descriptions of the things that we've identified, the items we've identified to replace those tables and chairs. The chairs are very similar to what we currently have. The tables are a little narrower. They are more of a table geared toward a training room that are on locking casters, much easier to move around and fold up to nest into each other for storage. We're also, in addition to the tables and chairs, asking for funds to purchase 2 large monitors that can be mounted on the wall in the room that will, you know, be better suited for the technology that's in use today for training and education sessions, and also should allow better visibility and not have us have to lay out the room around the projector stand for the projector we currently use to project up on the screen. So the total appropriation is a little over $10,000, but I think that given that we haven't put any money into that room and the materials that are used in that room in a number of years, the use that it's getting now with sharing the office with Purdue, and I certainly hope that you know, that the county will continue to elect to house Purdue Extension Services in our building. That's a relationship that's worked out well with both parties, and I don't foresee the district moving from that building in any time in the near future. I think this is a worthwhile investment.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move approval of resolution 2024-09.
Second.
Motion and a second. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Again, no one here in the Nat U Hill room, but if you'd like to make public comment on Teams, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote.
McGiffens,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McKim,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Piedmont Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. And now we have a resolution 2024-10 for declaration of surplus property.
As indicated in the memo on page 71 of the packet, this is only for one piece of property. It's a semi-trailer that we have previously used to haul loose paper products directly up to Quincy Recycling in Indianapolis. That was something that was set up and done at the request of Republic Services. Is obviously the contract that they manage those materials for us, but they have since agreed to let us put all of the loose mixed paper products into the same compactor container at South Walnut, and so we're no longer making the direct hauls up to Quincy Recycling. So the semi trailer itself is also in some state of disrepair. It's actually currently at our mechanics, and he's advised that it will be due for an annual DOT inspection next spring, and it will not pass in its current condition, and will need some substantial work to be able to pass that inspection. And given that we're not using it, we didn't see a need or a sense in making that investment in it. And we also do have a party that's expressed interest in purchasing that trailer to use for a stationary storage container on their property.
Great, thank you. Any questions from Mr. McGlasson or comments on the surplus property declaration? On teams? Nope. Okay, seeing none, we will open this up for public comment. Any members of the public on teams who would like to make comment, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote.
I don't have a record of a motion in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I didn't. Sorry.
Move to approve resolution 2024-10, declaration of surplus property.
Second.
A motion and a second. Thank you. My apologies. I'll open it again for public comment. All right. Seeing none, this time we'll do a roll call vote.
Githen,
Yes.
Thompson, McKim,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Piedmont Smith. Motion passes.
Great. Okay, so we have now the draft request for proposal for recycling, processing, municipal solid waste disposal, and materials hauling services.
Yeah, if the board will recall, this is actually something that was brought to the board earlier this year in April or May. And there did see some interest in considering, issuing such an RFP. It was decided at that time that with the, budget preparation, getting started and what that would be for the next few months, that staff was asked to bring this draft RFP back to the board at the September meeting after the board had approved the 2025 budget in August. So that's what you have. There is, other than some typographical corrections, there are no changes to the actual RFP document than what was presented to you previously. And in fact, the memo on page 74 pretty much has the exact same information that it previously did. So presented for the board's discussion and consideration, and if there's any instructions to staff with regard to issuing the RFP, that's.
Okay, thank you very much. We did discuss this at the executive committee meeting in a fair amount of detail, but I guess I'd like to hear thoughts of the members of the board. Are we ready to move forward on this, or do you think it needs additional work and additional discussion?
What is the take of the executive committee?
We were, I mean, we didn't actually take a vote, but I think we were definitely interested in moving this forward.
Okay. There isn't any, there aren't any qualms or any issues that are leading you to think we need to wait or delay this?
I mean, there were always challenges with timing. I don't know, Tom, do you want to go into a little more detail?
Yeah, there's certainly challenges of timing, given that the existing contract, does provide the ability to opt out of it. It does require a 120-day written notice. by either party to the other party. And that notice is to specify the end date, requested to terminate the contract. And, we don't, it doesn't have to be exactly 120 days. That's just a minimum. We can put it out, as far as we want. Yeah, the other side of it is, we don't have to issue any notice. We could do an RFP, see what responses we get, and if nothing betters our position, reject them all. However, given that I would anticipate Republic Services to respond to the RFP, issuing it might trigger them to provide the notice to us. So, I think that, if the decision is to issue an RFP, we're looking at 120-day turnaround on issuing it, getting responses back, getting responses vetted, and having the board make a decision on the proposals that are received. What we get back, the only thing I'm fairly confident of with regard to potential responses is transportation cost is going to increase, given where fuel costs, insurance costs. I just don't think that there's any way, around that. I think we can reasonably expect that, some of the materials that we're currently paying a per ton recycling fee on would generate a rebate for us. But I don't know that there's any way to predict, the amount of that rebate and, what that would mean with regard to countering the increase in transportation costs. And it's also very possible that, any proposed rebate could be market dependent and would not be consistent month over month, depending on the market rates. So, there's certainly, lots of questions and potentially concerns, going into something like this. But that's also not to say that on the backside of it, we don't come out in potentially a better position financially. And the other, the RFP is written in a manner to encourage any and all interested parties to respond, even if there's only one component or one material that they're in a position to process. But there is also the possibility that we don't get enough responses to cover everything that we are currently managing. So lots of things to consider.
Yeah, thank you.
Mayor Thompson.
My recollection is that we discussed this very thoroughly a couple of months ago, and my general opinion about it then was that once we get through the budget process, we're ready to issue this RFP. And it does seem that if it's staff's recommendation that we move forward, we're gambling no matter what with transportation versus recycling costs. And generally we seem to be ready to issue this and move forward with it. So I'm supportive.
Yeah, no, the city just went through within the last year kind of a similar process. Is that right? Yeah. And did you feel like, were there any particular lessons learned or?
Adam better than I can in detail, but I think generally speaking, the RFP brought us a successful analysis of what we were doing.
Did what it was supposed to do. So, thanks.
I'd like to call attention to the fact that Commissioner Jones has joined the meeting now virtually.
Thank you. On Teams?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. So Commissioner Jones is also part of the meeting. All right. Any other comments or discussion on the RFP or draft RFP?
Well, in terms of transportation, part of that's for the solid waste stuff, that's also dependent upon where they take that to. So it's not necessarily that we're going to be having increased transportation costs for everything.
Right. I think it's generally agree that we have a very good transportation rate right now, and it's it's the rate that was initially agreed to in 2019 or 20 with the annual escalator clause, added on to that. But fuel costs 5 years ago were much lower than they are now, and that's just the facts. And but and the majority of the material has always been hauled locally. Glass being the exception, but that was not included in the contract that we're looking at here. But the contract was also done in through a similar request process. But at that time, there was only one waste/recycling facility in the county. There are now two.
Other comments?
I guess I'll just say that I'm in favor of issuing the RFP and not giving the 120-day notice to Republic. If they want to give notice, that they can do that.
We need a motion.
Yes, is that a motion?
Well, I want to see if Commissioner Jones has any input before I can make the motion anyway.
And we
Yes,
can continue to discuss.
Right.
Yes.
I will move that we issue the RFP and do not give the 120-day notice to our current contract holder.
We have
Second.
motion. We have motion and a second. Okay, so we can continue to deliberate on this.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Mayor. Commissioners Thomas and Jones, do you have any additional comments on this?
I just agree with everything that I've heard so far. Sorry about being late.
That's okay. Good to see you.
I was late as well, and I apologize too. I think my concern is down the road if there is some movement toward recycling other materials that we don't currently recycle, i.e. plastic bags, that we can still issue another RFP or potentially address those other recyclables in the future. I just want to leave that door open, and I think this allows us to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good point. And you concur that there's nothing that we're doing now that would prevent us if there's a new
No,
option.
This RFP identifies the specific materials that we're requesting information proposals on.
Right. Other comments? All right. Do have a motion and a second. So let's open this up for public comment. Again, no one in the Nat U Hill room, but if there are any members of the public on Teams who would like to make a comment, please raise your hand. I'll give this one a second. Okay, seeing none, we will do a roll call vote.
Jones,
Yes,
Thompson,
Yes.
McKim,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Piedmont Smith,
Yes.
Githens.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. Excellent. That's progress on a major project that we've been discussing for quite a while. All right, so those are all the voting items. Let's move on to the CAC report. I believe I saw Mr. Winia on the on Teams. I don't know if he's here to give the CAC report.
I am. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, not an awful lot to add to the report, just a few items. We did at our last meeting vote to approve the expense for members to attend the AIS WMD conference that's actually going to be held here in Bloomington on October 8th and 9th. We did have, a short discussion about the Garden Quest Lotus Festival food waste collection proposal and thought that it would be something that the CAC would be in support of if the district decided to provide funding for that as a pilot. And then lastly, we performed our Adopt a Road cleanup on our stretch of Old State Road 37 on the 24th. And that's what we have been up to.
Great. Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Winia? Okay, thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to department reports.
Okay, well, I'll start, as Mr. Winia stated, the annual Association of Solid Waste Districts conference is being held in Bloomington this year. So we're certainly excited to have that in town, and that's giving both our staff and CAC a chance to send a number of people that may not otherwise get a chance to attend when it's in the, other parts of the state. So we're excited to have good representation there. Also included in the memo on page 101, you can see is our budget schedule with the county council that starts this evening with the work session. I'll be excited to get through that process and have the budget hopefully formally adopted. Also, if I think that there's been some email notifications sent to board members, but if anyone's not aware, State Board of Accounts is currently on site with us conducting an audit. And Ms. Martin, is it 2020 to 2023? Is that the time period? She's still
Yes.
with us? Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry, it is 2020, 21, and 22, and 23,
So
4 years.
So covering that 4-year period. We certainly hope for a good report. Things seem to be going well so far, but they have asked, for a lot of information, and I'll go back to the payment to Ms. Craner, and her inventory and catalog has come in handy in tracking down some of the documents that have been requested. So that's worked well for us. Beyond that, the only thing, a general announcement for the public, specifically for educators in the county. A MISPO crawl is currently scheduling both virtual and in-classroom sessions for the local schools, both RBB, MCCSC, as well as any charter or private school, and any schools or teachers that are interested should contact MISPO crawl at the district office. And with that, be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions either here in the room or on Teams? Yeah.
At our last meeting, we talked about the TerraCycle options being added to the website. Is that on there yet?
It is not currently on the website, and I think as you're aware, we have a number of changes that need to be made to the website, and so we're trying to compile everything and just do one request for multiple changes with the webmaster. So
Okay.
hopefully, within the next week or two, we'll have a number of updates done on the website that would include the TerraCycle information.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Anything else? All right. Additional staff reports.
Mr. Long would be next.
See if I see him there.
He's not on the.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing him on there.
I wonder if they forgot that it was at 3:00. I don't see Mr. Polson as well.
Oh, yeah.
I will fill in as best I can, and I apologize for the scheduling confusion. So, Mr. Long's report is on page 102 of the packet. I would note we're partnering again this year with Pantry 279 on their toy and food drive for the holidays. That's just now starting to kick off. And we are at our South Walnut location. We have set up a collection point for that food and toy drive. I would also add to that Mr. Long and Kayla Strand, our waste reduction specialist, are working with our green business clients to where if they want to collect food at their business for part of this, we'll collect it as a part of our GBN route. Bring it back to our office to get it to Pantry 279. So we're excited to do that with them. Also do need to, I don't know if a public announcement or something regarding lithium ion batteries. There are, unfortunately, at the end of life, they're not fun to deal with, and they are a challenge for us because of some of the hazards they present, particularly with fire hazards. We also have run into some situations where we've run into, I think the one product I know of is e-bike batteries. Our vendor is not set up to take lithium-ion batteries of that size, so that is something we need to try to identify an outlet for. But at this time we can't accept them because we don't have anything that we can do with them. But we are working on that. But just for the public to aware that those are a challenging item. They do present hazards, to our staff, to the truck drivers that are transporting them, to the processing facilities that are recycling them. It's an industry-wide problem that everybody's looking at and working on. But please be patient with us if we tell you that we can't take a specific battery that you have because we just may not have an outlet for it at this time. So.
And I know, we've talked about this. I know there are some companies that will take certain types of batteries, and it seems like we need to dig a little bit deeper.
And there are some manufacturer take back programs. I saw some question about what Indiana law requires of manufacturers and doesn't require of manufacturers, and those are all questions that we're investigating. The bottom line is, trying to find a recycler or a processor that will take the materials that our residents are trying to, properly get rid of and not send to a landfill. So, and then at the rural recycling centers, and I'm going to give Mr. Long some credit here. He's working really hard with those operators on scheduling when boxes are pulled and trying to maximize what we're getting volume-wise in a box before it's pulled. Really making some good progress there, and it's really. We're starting to notice decreases in our hauling numbers as a result of some of these changes that are being made. So, and he thinks that there's still more improvement yet to be made. So that's he's doing a great job with that, and I think we're going to see some benefits of that.
Thanks. Any questions? All right, then we would move on to Mr. Paulson, who I believe is also not here. So.
I don't. Trying to the treatment plant is still not running, which is that's a good thing for us. Our leachate generation numbers are down. The lack of rain certainly helps that. He did get the May groundwater sampling event report was submitted to IDEM at the beginning of August, and again that was with our new vendor, a consultant vendor on that, the hydrogeologist that reviews everything and prepares that and looks at all the trends and of the various parameters. So a little later than normal, but IDEM was understanding of that because we had to change vendors and there was a learning curve there on their end. But Mr. Paulson said the results all looked in line with historical data, and everything looked good with that. We're not seeing any upward trends that would be of a concern to us or any of the adjacent property owners out there. So, they are, working on some, just general maintenance for the sediment basins that are out there with the deal with stormwater runoff. That's pretty common this time of year. And I apologize. He does have compliance and adopt a road data in there, but they've not brought anything to my attention that any of those numbers were out of line with what they expected. So,
well, it's quite a thorough memo, so we can read.
Okay.
We can read it then. Any questions? Nope. All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to public comment. Are there any members of the public on Teams who would like to make public comment on an item that isn't on the agenda today? If so, please raise your hand. I'm seeing none. Are there any directors who would like to make public comment or like to make comment? Let's see, Commissioner Thomas or Commissioner Jones, any comments? Nope. Okay, any comment? Yes, Ms. Gibbons.
Well, first of all, I want to applaud Mr. Long for doing the food and toy drive for Pantry 279. Last year, I know that during the food distribution for Thanksgiving, that Mr. Long was out on the spot collecting recyclables while things were going on to keep things moving forward really, really easily and nicely. I'd also like to point out that this is Hunger Action Month through Hoosier Hills Food Bank. And here in the courthouse, we have one of their collection barrels. So I would encourage people, if possible, to make a donation. Makes a difference.
Great, thank you. Any other comments from directors? All right, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Very efficient.